Come to me!
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to Versus Gaming, a gaming show where we discuss the latest news in the world of gaming, plus give you some insight into what it all could mean. Like always, I'm your host, Jean-Luque Zephir, and joining me back on the show is returning guest host, Myleah Lofland. Welcome back to the show, Myleah.
Thanks for having me back. I always love coming on Versus Gaming with you.
Glad to have you.
This time we're doing something different for Versus Gaming. Consider this episode a special where we're diving deep into the growing popularity of esports, specifically for the fighting game competitive scene.
Oh, what do you know? I just won.
Cassandra!
I hope you're ready, because here I come.
As an avid gamer who is in love with the genre of fighting games, I can tell you without question that to me, there is no greater feeling than beating someone in an action-packed, adrenaline-filled match. When it's all said and done, you hear the announcer utter those two iconic letters, KO. To say that isn't satisfying is blasphemy.
Whoops! Oh no, was that too much for you?
And we're not alone with that feeling either. Each year, all of the work you put in inside the training lab, online player and ranked modes, your local arcade, all of that culminates at the Evolution Championship Series, better known as EVO. For those of you who've never heard of EVO, this clip should give you a glimpse of what you can expect. So you had a chance to see EVO, Jean-Luque. What did you think about it?
Oh my God, it was insane. EVO, the biggest event of the year, Super Bowl pretty much for gaming. Literally, these are where the best players come out.
Unbelievable! That was unbelievable!
And it's international, so players come from around the world to come to this huge event, you know, obviously to see who's number one.
Goes for the reset, the challenge. Goichi was ready for it. He brings them up. This is it. Drop them, keep it simple. There it is, Goichi, your Dragon Ball FighterZ 2019 EVO champion.
After overcoming hand injury, he's in tears up there, defeating Sonic Fox to claim victory here. On the winner's side, nonetheless, and those are real tears right there.
The matches were very, very intense. You have some of your favorites. There's some of the games that I enjoy paying attention to, you know, such as Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball FighterZ, the list goes on. But it's just such an incredible experience, and you know, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Like, I want this person to win, but I also want this person to win, and it was just incredible. Like, yeah.
I mean, it's just like any other sport. You're rooting on your teams, rooting on your favorite players. You want to see the people you want to see win.
Waiting for the third jab. So smart. He's going to try to go low. Can he spike it? He mistimes it. He grabs the ledge. And with that, MKLeo defeats Tweak to be your 2019 EVO champion. You can dread it. You can run from it. But in the end, MKLeo will arrive in grand finals.
MKLeo! Like, you might have your favorites. I'm a personal fan of Harada-san, so I want to see him win, you know?
Yeah, so like it was cool. Like we were talking about earlier, when we were watching, you know, Knee versus Arslan, seeing those two go at it. Or what was the names? Tweet versus MKLeo for Smash. Both very high caliber players across the board. But seeing them all go at it, you just have no idea who's gonna win, but it's such high level of play that this is where we aspire to get to.
Yeah.
This is where we want to be.
You got these high level matchups that you can't even wrap your head around because it's just like, how did these guys get so good at this game?
Before we move on, there are some sweet character reveals that happen at EVO. Check this one out.
Zephir.
This is your fate. Fate cannot be changed. Calm down.
This year we had games like Mortal Kombat 11, Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and many more all in the fray. Some of them are new releases. Samurai Showdown and Under Night In-Birth even managed to catch my attention. I must say though, I really did enjoy that Dragon Ball FighterZ character announcement. It was a pretty surprising reveal. Take a look.
暇つぶしにはなる。気高くも美しい。死にして最強の神。どうした？さっきの勢いはどこへ行った？
Here comes a mighty warrior!
Make no mistake, there's nothing wrong with being a casual player, but the competitive lifestyle is a grind that requires a great deal of passion. Now that that's out of the way, this leads us into our next topic. Why do you play fighting games?
I mean, I would say I play fighting games because who doesn't love to just be a random character and beat up your friends? I mean, at the core of it, fighting games are for playing with others and getting a chance to jump into the role of the character, getting to test out all their moves. I mean, I feel like that's the best part of fighting games is just seeing all the different matchups.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we fall in love with some of these characters as well. I know Jin Kazama from Tekken's a really big favorite of yours. Shang Tsung I really like in Mortal Kombat.
Your soul is mine.
You know, not only do you grow attached to these characters, but the movesets, the techniques, the ultimates.
I feel like sometimes we've been playing these games since we were younger. I mean, Tekken I've been playing since I was a kid, always loved Xiao Yu and Jin. Smash Bros, I've been a Pikachu main since I could pick up a controller. So we've been playing these characters for a really long time. So that aspect makes you want to keep coming back and playing fighting games. What characters are going to be in the next game?
Exactly, and you see that progression as well, not only with even new characters being added to the roster in the future, but, you know, just having that, you could say, couch enjoyment, where you can invite a lot of friends over, have a great time, host a tournament. It's literally just such a phenomenal experience that I think, to me personally, is second to none. And you can't help it, especially when you go to a big convention or an arcade, you're gonna stop by a fighting game.
Yeah.
Whether you're the fan of a show like Dragon Ball FighterZ, or you just enjoy playing with friends, you know, and you want to be a little competitive, you can track your progress and how good you're doing. There's so many reasons on why people play fighting games. And that's part of the reason why it stands out as a very, very popular genre, because not only you're talking about your character, the matchups, there's just so much depth that, you know, you could swim as far down as you want and you still probably wouldn't touch the bottom because there's new characters for you to master. When you get background on some of the story, it's literally just so much.
I mean, every series is trying to have a fighting game now. I mean, Pokemon has a fighting game, Persona has a fighting game, like Blah Blue has a fighting game. There's so many that have fighting games. So.
Yeah, and just if you think of action, you know, as a whole, think about it. How much do we talk? Like, whether you're a fan of shows or sports, everyone has that competitive mindset where here's my team, here's my character. How would it stack up against yours? I bet mine could beat yours.
Exactly, there's that competitive spirit between you and your friends and people you're playing with, like, I need to beat you. Just like any other, like, competitive, fun, like, entertainment that you're trying to do.
Yeah, no, so it's really, really, there are so many reasons on why, you know, you can be into fighting games, have a really strong passion for the genre, and overall, it's exciting, and I honestly love it. Like, since I was a kid, you know, playing on PlayStation 1, I was playing Tekken 2.
Yeah, that throwback Tekken 2. The graphics weren't great, but the game was still really
The game was still really good, and now we're all here still talking about it in Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, and whatever number we're on with all the other fighting games
We
out
started
there.
with Smash 64, and now we're at Smash Ultimate. We started with, like, what, 12 characters, and now we have 73, 75, something like that.
Clear example,
it's
yeah.
insane, and seeing the games progress over time, I feel like, is also part of the fun. We all have our own reasons for playing fighting games. However, what's the deciding factor that makes you pick up a particular fighting game? Is it the gameplay, likable characters, story, or all of the above?
We all know money doesn't grow on trees, and to get good at a fighting game takes a considerable amount of devotion. So, what is that one game that makes you eager to hop into the ring?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I've been a Smash fan since I could play video games. I think I've always been attracted to Smash because I'm a Nintendo girl at heart. I love Nintendo, love all of the IPs, so getting to play in a game where they bring all of the different characters from their IPs together, where you can have that matchup against, from Pikachu to Mario, it's like, you don't really get that anywhere else. And getting to, I had never experienced that when I was like 8 or 5 or however old I was. It was a long time ago. But that, I feel like the amount of characters that they started to add really kept me invested in the series. What about you?
Yeah, you know, especially, you know, just to piggyback off that real quick, Super Smash has a very, very unique fighting style that people have tried to mimic and imitate, but there's nothing like Smash. And that's part of the reason why it stands out obviously with the exceptional, lovable characters in Smash. Like I love Kirby, and you know I like playing as Star Fox McCloud and that kind of thing. And it's so cool to see. And for me personally, it's got to be Tekken. It's got to be Tekken. I've never been so attached to a fighting game that, you know, I'm always training to get better. I follow the stories of these individual characters. I'm always in the lab for hours, the practice lab where, you know, I'm training, I'm trying to get better, I'm trying to climb up the leaderboards, get higher in the ranks. And it's just so cool. And eventually, you know, I plan to start going out to even more tournaments. Like I go to my locals now, but travel and see how good I can do and compete. And just having that drive to get better, you know, not only makes you more excited, but you love the game as a whole because it's just, there's so much you can do. Like me as a Tekken player looking at Smash, even though I've played it, it's so much to take in.
Yeah, Smash is really different than other games in that, you know, people who button mash can destroy you, even if you think that you're good. So I think that's another reason I really like Smash, because even your friends who aren't into fighting games, they can pick it up and have fun with you. I mean, unless you're like me, where nobody wants to play with me anymore because they're like, you're too good, I don't want to play with you anymore. So I think that it's a fun family game, but it also has the potential to be a competitive game.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you just touched on something there where literally we were watching the Tweet versus Myleah matchup to see this is the peak of where you could be, you know, with Smash and how good you can get, if not better. Because a lot of the time there's a new champion every single year. So everyone has a chance to always get better. But, you know, it's just, those aren't even the only fighting games out there. You know, there are fighting games that cater to not only your specific playing style, whether you're interested with the lore or the story. So there's reasons you can play, but for me personally, there's always that one that literally pulls you in, and when it has you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Tekken. I really love Tekken, but I feel like I still just need to get a hold of the movement still. So I'm still working on my Tekken game.
Oh, for Smash, there's a giant list of things that I am working on. You know, just for the fact that there's so many characters and learning the matchups. It has a really interesting mechanic where you can run across the map, and when I'm watching them play, I'm just astounded because it's so much, and there's such a huge, well, I can't really say there's a huge learning curve because all fighting games are different and that's subjective. But it's fun though. It's very, very fun, and I enjoy playing with people. So yeah, no, with any fighting game, really, I'm always down to jump into the ring.
I feel like no matter what fighting game you're really good at, there's always room for improvement until you're the champ of Evo, and then you can say, well, I think I can take a break.
And you have the bragging rights.
Yeah.
Oh man, you just came back immediately.
Yeah, great wall sequence there. Wall's behind Pigeon as well. He's gonna have to play smart. Diving Falcon. Oh! Got hit out of the rage drive. Yu is going to be happy about that as she progresses on in winners.
You paid the money, now you have the game, but sometimes players feel a barrier when it comes to playing a fighting game consistently to improve because the gap from where they stand skill-wise to where they'd want to be is large. As a result, some fighting games get pushed to the wayside and just collect dust.
Obviously, you have to take the time to learn a game to play it at a certain level. So why is it that some players feel that certain fighting games are too difficult to learn?
I think that some fighting games have a really intimidating roster of moves. Okay, I'm going to say this with Tekken. Like, you see your character, right? And then you see all the moves and combos that you can possibly do. When I was like 12 and I was playing Tekken 4, I was like, I have to learn all these moves to be good at this game? And I feel like people who are unfamiliar with just like fighting games in general, they might think that they need to be good at these combos. So I think that can be really intimidating for new players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so in the beginning, absolutely, like looking at a glance, like if I were to look at, not so much, because Smash has a smaller move list than, let's say, something like Tekken. But there still is, in regards to executing those moves perfectly, hitting your opponent, there's a lot of factors that go into play to get good at, let's say, Smash. But for Tekken specifically, yeah, it may look intimidating at first glance when you're going over the command list. You know, you have poke moves where you may do 1 or 2 hits. You have combos, some are short strings, some are longer strings, that kind of thing. But when you start taking, I would say, a closer look at it than just having that first glance, oh, that looks difficult, I'm going over here. Then you can kind of see that oh, this is actually something that I can learn. Like I took it from the top, like I mastered a new character recently named Leo, started with some of the poke moves. All right, let's see what some of the grabs are. What are some of my fastest pokes? Let's try doing a mini combo. Let's try doing a longer combo. Slow it down. You gotta slow it down.
I feel like it's all about learning what works for you as a player instead of trying to learn all of the combos and input all of the commands, because that's not gonna make you good.
Take your time, because you could literally be, so let's say all I know how to do is combos. You could still beat me with just quick poke moves. You could still beat me. And a lot of times, that's what even some of the pros will tell you, that you don't need to jump into a fighting game and just master the longest combos.
It's about understanding the gameplay. It's understanding the flow, timing. There are a lot of aspects that go into it. Understanding stages. There are a lot of different aspects than just what buttons do I have to press.
Exactly, and the dynamics and the fact that you're putting yourself inside the match and you're looking for every possible opportunity to get an advantage. Like, think about it, I can give you a clear example. If I'm blocking a lot, let's try grabbing. If I'm attacking you high, why not I attack you low? So like, because of that, there's a lot of different learning aspects that can make you better as a player. And hey, if one of these days you want to try learning that long combo, feel free and just keep doing it repeatedly until you're able to execute it perfectly in an actual competitive match.
It's just like learning any other sport or something like that. Practice makes perfect. I mean, you can't get good at something without practicing.
Yeah, and it takes work. I can't deny it. It takes work. Like, literally, no one is automatically a prodigy or gets great overnight. It takes time to learn, but you have to be willing to.
The people who are playing at high levels are putting hours and hours in the practice lab. They didn't just wake up one morning, I am the champion of Evo, you know?
Exactly, like they're seeing, what else can I do? Like, maybe I'm too slow on movement. Maybe that's what I need to work on. Maybe I need to work on my defense, my offense. There's always something that you can do to get better. It's not all like, well, if I don't know this combo, then I can't really do anything.
I also feel like, especially for games like Fighter Z, understanding the character matchups and understanding like what are the strengths and weaknesses of different characters can also be kind of intimidating, because it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know what characters will work well together for assists. I don't know like what specials work well together. So I feel like that can also be kind of intimidating when you're not as familiar with the character roster as well.
Yeah, so that's why as well. So let's take the fighting game out of it. Sometimes that can come down to just research.
Studying.
Exactly. Just like what you do in your daily life. You know, sometimes we have busy lives. Things may seem hard, but that doesn't mean we don't try. That doesn't mean we don't work at it. Sometimes, you know, give or take, sometimes we're a little bit lazy. We just don't want to.
We just want to button mash and just play the game. But you know, if you actually want to develop skills, get good at the game, you're gonna have to put in some work.
You really have to. But understand that once you do put in the work, and that feeling of discovery where, wait a minute, that actually works. What that goes into that? Wait a minute, that string can help me do this? That's a launcher? And I get a combo from that? That's insane. Like, and that feeling of discovery is amazing.
It's very satisfying.
Very satisfying indeed. And a lot of the time, you can only get that with fighting games. So that's part of the reason why, you know, I enjoyed it. And there may be sometimes having a learning difficulty, because some characters are easier to learn.
Some of them are difficult.
Some of them are difficult, just like you said. So it's just a matter of not only taking your time to learn each one, but also don't think that just because, let's say, I mastered a higher skilled character, that doesn't mean you still can't lose to someone who practice with a more simpler character.
Just because you hear that this character has been winning all the tournaments doesn't mean that just playing that character is going to make you good.
How many times do we hear tier list? Like, who's top tier?
Tier lists honestly are fake. Like, you can play Sheik all you want, but I'm still going to destroy you with Pikachu.
Exactly. Like, someone could pick a Mishima. Hey, you know, I'll pick Marduk. I'll pick, let's say, someone else. And, you know, I may still be able to beat you because I know this character. I've mastered this character. I know this matchup.
I've seen Panda destroy some people, so.
Exactly.
Oh! Is this enough to kill? It might be. Not enough.
Oh, the big low. Takes off a chunk.
We've trained. We're confident. Now it's time to test out how much we've learned in an online ranked mode or into a tournament. We've mentioned how you have a wide variety of options. Some fighting games have online tournaments, but nothing beats the in-person experience, such as when you're attending a local tournament, bigger events like Combo Breaker, CEO, or the Evolution Championship Series. Let's break down some of the benefits there are to attend events in person.
Okay, so there is honestly no better feeling than you're playing in a heated match and the person next to you is totally underestimated you. I have this experience all the time because I look like really unassuming. They're like, oh, she's just a girl that's coming to play fun games. And then you completely destroy them and everyone around you's like, yo! So that's just like one of the best feelings is being surrounded by other people who are interested in the game, invested in the game, they're cheering you on, want to see you win. So there's no feeling like that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's also really, really great the fact that, you know, let's say, yeah, you know, you mentioned that you're great with Pikachu, you love that character. And let's say you go into a tournament and everyone's talking like, you know, the person to beat right now is Myleah's Pikachu. Like that, her level of skill with that character is literally second to none. And she's the person to beat, and you know the fact that you know you have that chance to not only meet other players, have that sportsmanship dynamic, have you know the intense matches, have people cheer you on, have the announcer literally say, if you want Myleah to take it, make some noise. If you want Jean-Luque to take it, exactly. Yeah. So you can only get that in person a lot of the time. So when you're there, it's just such a great experience. And it gets you into more of a competitive mindset.
We also spend so many hours behind a screen playing against these people. Maybe we only trash talk them through like voice chat, but actually getting to be in the same space with other human beings, seeing people's faces, seeing their reactions, that's a different experience. It's not just, oh, we're playing through a screen, I only see your character, I don't really get to interact with you. But actually like getting to shake their hand, getting to like interact with them, talk with them after the match. Hey, that was a really good play. I mean, we have some great sportsmanship when we're playing fighting games. I mean, there's some not great, but I feel like it's really nice just to have that human interaction instead of always just being behind a screen.
You know,
you spend so much time practicing and playing like that.
That's so good. And the fact that, think when you mentioned sportsmanship, what did we see before with Goichi versus Sonic Fox? It literally hits you so hard.
Your heart.
Warms your heart. You know, after Goichi beat Sonic Fox, and it was a really close match, very, very close. And he managed to inch out Sonic Fox and win. You know, he started tearing up.
I started tearing up with him.
He was working so hard, but Sonic Fox was not only such a good sport. And, you know, hey, you know, you won, you got this, you're the champion, man.
Raised his arm to the crowd cheered for him. He'd been wanting this for so long. Exactly. And it was just so great to see that sportsmanship between them. I mean, Sonic Fox is known for having a bit of trash talk, but at the end of the day, he's a good sport.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, when you get to the final round and you're so intense, you want someone to win, or you're that person that's in the gaming seat at the final round in grand finals, and you're walking up to the stage, you're at the top of the world. Like, this is it.
This is what you've been training for. This is what you've been putting all your hours into. So getting to get to that level, I feel like it's really satisfying for a lot of people who put that many hours and that much time into it. I mean, think about how long these people are spending playing games. Like, you would want to feel like you're on top of the world once you're winning.
Exactly, and it's part of the reason, and it's why people really want to go out to events.
Hi everybody, it's UIU Aru here. I'm going to be at Combo Breaker and I'm excited to meet you guys. I'm excited to compete. I am super hyped for this weekend, so I will see everybody there. Yeet!
Wow, we've covered so much, Jean-Luque, and this right here is exactly why people love fighting games. Having the passion to play, the positive energy you get from the community, and knowing that no matter what, you're progressing and becoming a better player. That's what makes it all worthwhile. I want to give a special shout out to the commentators and YouTubers. They bring so much life and character to the esports scene, don't you think?
Yeah, no, they really, really do. Like one of the ones we're showing right now is Aru going through her experience at Combo Breaker and seeing, you know, just how she's interacting with the different people there and having so much fun. And bringing up the fact of community. You know, the fact that, hey, you know, you're talking to people, hey, you know, I'm learning this character. You have any advice, tips, pointers, that kind of thing. Hey, you know, I really, really enjoyed playing this game at this so-and-so. big event, you know, and I haven't played it before, and meeting new people, training up and talking, getting better with people in your close circle, and even going beyond that. It's so alluring and it pulls you in. Even if you said, hey, Jean-Luque, I'm gonna take a break from this game. But then you hear me through the rest of the week. Yeah, here's what I'm learning. This is what I'm trying now. I didn't know I could do this. All right, Jean-Luque, I'm coming back.
I just think it's great too with YouTubers, especially like Are You showing what she's doing. I mean, it's great to see women in fighting games, in the fighting game scene. There aren't that many. And for her to put out a vlog just to show like, hey, I'm having a good time. I'm a woman and I'm enjoying a fighting game tournament. It can make other women want to come join because we know that there is a huge disconnect between men and women in the fighting game community and just the gaming community in general. So it's just great to have female commentators and also female YouTubers who are out there showing what they're doing. And
even players to an extent, like we mentioned, Tanukana, Yu, some of the other, I mean, those are more strictly Tekken players, but there are women, especially in this community, and also that they're making an impact too. And even when we were watching the Smash tournament, the final round, we had also a female commentator on there. And in all honesty, I loved her commentary.
Yeah,
I don't know her name.
She was great. And just seeing like women in gaming is really important for representation, just so that people can see themselves represented and say, hey, like, I'm a girl, I play games, but I feel like I'm not included. But seeing women actually participating, that's important.
Oh yeah, and it has nothing to do gender-wise, the fact that you think you can't improve. You can always get better. And you can always be, get to the top and, you know, win tournaments, win events. You know, it's about putting the legwork in, training, and also, you know, getting yourself into that community. And because right now, I mean, Are You specifically, she's surrounded herself with not only a former EVO champion, but other high caliber players.
And she's good. She's good.
Yeah, and she's good, and she has a chance to meet other people playing with one of the best Xiaoyu players in the world in Yu. And just the fact that, you know, hey, you know, it shows that this is an inclusive environment. Now, granted, you may run across sometimes unpleasant people, but in all aspects, with anything, that across all aspects of our life, you're gonna have that.
I think that working towards making gaming more inclusive for people of all types is gonna be better in the long run.
And think about it, what would you wanna do? Like, you just, let's say, you know, you did really well in day one into a pool, and now you and your friends, hey, let's go grab something. We gotta celebrate. We've come so far, and let's see if we can, you know, edge them out and, you know, win this thing. That's, I can't even think of a greater feeling than that, especially when it comes to sports and just the esports scene as a whole for fighting games.
Yeah, just having your team, winning, playing, just having fun. I think that that's what fighting games are all about. It's having fun, getting better, showing off your skills. What better is there?
Exactly. As we wrap up here, I just want to say thank you, Myleah, for joining me back on the show.
Thanks for having me. You know, I always love coming on to Versus Gaming.
Of course, glad to have you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us. I'm about to hit the lab, so I'll see you all on the next episode of Versus Gaming.
Bye.
We own the comps.
Ain't that something, Fritz?